Two teenagers have been jailed for life over the brutal murder of a musician. Jack Hindley and Samuel Jones, who 17 years old, were found guilty of the murder of a talented but vulnerable keyboard player Edward Reeve, who is 35 years old. Mr. Reeve suffered multiple stab wounds in the attack at his home in Christchurch in Dorset on New Year's Eve. However, he was not found until January the 4th, when officers responded to the residence for a welfare check. Mr. Justice Sweeney, who lifted reporting restrictions at Winchester Crown Court to allow the naming of Hindley and Jones, handed the teens life sentences over the killing with a minimum term of 18 years. Hindley from Christchurch and Jones from Bournemouth were 16 at the time of the attack. They showed no emotion as the sentence was handed down. Mr. Justice Sweeney said the pair jointly and brutally attacked Mr. Reeve in his living room with their respective knives. Hindley reportedly struck the first blow. Edward Reeve made desperate attempts to get away from the attack on him, including trying to succeed to get out into the garden. However, in the end, he suffered 8 stab wounds. He added that afterwards the defendants excitedly bragged to 3 girls about what they had done and were seen fist-bumping, laughing and hugging before posing for a team photograph. The court heard that Mr. Reeve, who had a history of illness, was probably chased by his attackers before being left to bleed to death. The victim's father, John Reeve, said in a statement read to court, "I have devoted my whole life to him and his happiness and his well-being. He was far known and wide for his music, which was played on BBC radio." Father added they stole Edward's life in a wicked, violent and despicable manner. The victim's mother echoed, "He was a beautiful boy and grew up to be such a kind and gentle man." His aunt described the defendants as pure evil, describing the killing as a horror show. The statement of a 15-year-old girl who found Mr. Reeve's body was also read to court. She said, "I have sleep paralysis. I would see him at the end of my bed just standing there, and I saw him just lying there. I couldn't focus on school as I was just seeing him behind me in window reflections. I feel anxious and very low. I do not go out much anymore now." Mr. Reeve met his attackers outside a local shop and had sought to buy drugs from them to self-medicate for his mental well-being, the court heard. The prosecutor said the victim was particularly vulnerable because of his disability. Mr. Reeve invited the teens back to his home, but the attack happened when they visited again on December the 31st. The defendants claimed during the trial that they had acted in self-defense after Mr. Reeve accused them of stealing his computer, but the pair were convicted unanimously by a jury of his murder. They was also convicted of possessing 2 knives which the prosecution said were taken to the scene of the killing. The court heard that the defendants bragged afterwards about killing to friends and even attended a party with blood still on their clothes. Announcing the judgment to allow the defendants to be named, Mr. Justice Sweeney said that open reporting could have been a deterrent effect on youth knife crime and attacks in the home, which he said were 2 areas of public concern. He added, "This is a great weight in open justice and unrestricted reporting than in the interests of these defendants." So guys, real sad news there coming from Dorset ways. I just want to say rest in peace, Edward Reeves, and my condolences go out to your family. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.